Hey team. So you might have seen that in the Zoom this morning, it didn't record half of it, so what you missed was a bit of a spiel from me on weight fluctuations, which I've posted a YouTube video I've previously done on it. So hopefully that covers the majority of your questions there. Of course, ask questions if not. Another thing I want to chat about is, of course, what your expected weight loss should be. And I know that we would have talked about this before, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. So the first thing is that on any plan like this and other plans, ideally your rate of weight loss will be from 0.5 to 1% of your current body weight each week. And so if you are someone that weighs 80 kilos, then you can expect to lose about 400 to 800 grams a week. Now, that might not seem like a lot, and I appreciate that. However, if we think about it, this is 8 weeks, but there is no rush. This is a fat loss program, but what we're really doing is this is habit change more than anything. That's the thing we really want to dial in, because if you can be consistent with your habits, then the weight loss you're after will come, because the habits are designed to elicit that weight loss, because we've got this calorie deficit. So 0.5 to 1% each week is what you want to be aiming for. And people have asked, should I weigh myself each day? Should it be once a week? I think the more you can desensitize yourself to the scales, and you can get on at the same time each day, and after going to the bathroom, maybe it is just having a wee and not going number twos, and take that number and don't really pay too much attention to it, because it will fluctuate during the week, and then take an average at the end of that week. And the more data points you've got, the more data you've got. So if you only weigh yourself once a week, and you weigh yourself after you go for sushi the night before, for example, and you're holding a lot of sodium, you're holding a lot of water from the sodium from the soy sauce, or you had more carbohydrate on the day you weigh yourself, or you did a super heavy training session that day, and so your tissues are inflamed, so you weigh more the next day. All of these things will impact on what that scale reading says. And so if you only weigh yourself once and that's the reading you get, might not be a true reflection. And of course, your scale, you want to treat your body weight as a data point, in addition to how you feel, how your clothes fit, what you see in the mirror, your waist circumference, and other measurements you might be taking, because all of those things are really important. Now, of course, in the initial stages of this plan, you will lose more weight. One, you might have a bit of weight to lose, and it's natural for people who do start at a higher given point to naturally reduce down their weight faster. Totally fine. Of course, the other reason is that this plan is low calorie and it's low carb. Low calorie because you want to elicit that calorie deficit, and it's low carb as well. And when you don't take in carbs, your body starts depleting its own carbohydrate stores. When that happens, we lose a lot of water as well, because for every 1 gram of carbohydrate you store, you will store an additional 3 grams of water. So if you're using that carbohydrate because you're not eating it and your body's using it for energy, you're dropping those water stores as well. And so that can mean that a lot of that initial weight loss is, of course, water loss. In addition to that, if you knowingly or unknowingly were consuming quite regularly foods which you don't tolerate, or create more inflammation, like gluten and dairy are low-hanging fruit and are often in that category, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, then when you drop those foods out, you'll drop that level of inflammation as well, thus change your water balance. That will also help see a change on the scale. So it's not that the only weight that you lose in the first week is water weight. You will lose a bit of fat as well. And I believe that it might be maybe an 80-20 sort of ratio there. But if you are doing the strength training and you're eating the high protein, these are the things that protect your muscle mass. So that's really important too. Don't panic if you're not yet on the strength training. Just have it in your head though, as this is something that you definitely have to figure out a way to get on board with, if you're wanting that sort of long-term change. So that 0.5 to 1% of your weight is what's expected. You will lose more in the first week or first couple of weeks. And if you consistently lose more than that, and you're already fairly, let's say you have 5 kilos to lose, but you've ignored me and you've gone to tier 3 and you're dropping weight dramatically, you really want to reconsider that, because it's likely that you're dropping muscle mass. If you do have quite a lot of excess body weight to lose and you notice you're losing it quite quickly, you're losing weight at a rate higher than I've suggested, that's okay. If you do have excess fat to lose, that's actually no big deal. And research shows now that rapid weight loss isn't like as detrimental as we once thought it to be. So I really wanted to just re-record the bit that I missed on the Zoom about your expected weight loss. And remember, this is about you and your journey. And even though I love that and I encourage us to celebrate wins, and the reason I ask for wins is so we can celebrate people for what they've achieved as well. Please try not to compare yourself to those people. You are not living their lives, they're not living yours. We all have different starting places. We live in different environments. We have different responsibilities. We have different bodies, with different heights, different weights, different activity levels, different food preferences, etc. So please don't feel disheartened by other people's wins. Hopefully you just feel inspired because you know that your wins, if not yet, from the scale perspective, if they're not happening, you should hopefully be celebrating your habit formation over the last 7 days, because it's the habits that get you there. The weight loss can come. The weight loss will come, but the habit's the important thing, because they're the thing that gets you there. And the other thing which I was going to say is, also thinking about the work-ons as well. So if you are not seeing the progress you expect, then thinking about why that is and what might need to change. And what I think is really important is, if you're following the plan, amazing. Make sure you're weighing the food. Don't forget that point, because this can be a stall for some people because they literally are still eating too much. And you don't want to just be following the gist of the plan, because that's not really following the plan. And if you're freestyling, that is great. But remember, freestyling isn't winging it. So, because they're two different things. A good diet doesn't happen by accident.